Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Reiki Healing Hope community, a place to heal, relax, be yourself, and be surrounded by those who want to see you blossom and or bloom. And today we have a very special session. It is going to be a new moon in Capricorn, a super new moon, and we're going to talk about it, bring some clarity to it, and pull a couple of cards too. So if you're new to the community, welcome. I am Jessica, also go by Jet, and welcome to this community. It is a community where you take care of yourself and you give yourself all that you need during this time. And so when we start this session off, we started off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Give me your hands. Thank you. May I hold your hand that I've already began to hold? Okay, let's get started. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. Spiritual paths. I was like, spiritual lights. I was like, what is a spiritual light? Well, I'm just going to begin taking you back to the days of Array Tarot. So, shout out to when we were doing that and getting that done. I'm going to be bringing back some of the card pulls in like a couple weeks or so. But until then, just reflecting on this new moon in Capricorn. So what do we have here? We have the fawn. And so what the fawn is representing is a new opportunity, a new way, hence new moon. So you're going to be taking an approach, and this particular approach, really, you have received a lot of clarity during that Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn. So that Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn that started December 30th, as we are still getting out of that shadow, made you reevaluate everything that had to do with your security and foundation. And as you were filling in the cracks during those times, now with this super new moon, you get an extra push, an extra shove, an extra bump to whatever new and next business endeavor and security endeavors, because I don't want to just, make it too small and say it's just business, it's just career. No, think about what career and business represents. It represents legacy, and it represents security. So if something gives you security, you can get security from a lot of things, a lot of places. And there's a difference between something that brings you security and you feeling secure. Feeling secure has to do with the moon, has to do with Cancer. Something bringing you security, regardless of what you're feeling, has to do with Capricorn. So this new moon energy that is coming to you is trying to align your feelings of feeling secure with the actual reality of security. So you know what you need to do. It's not rocket science. What else? Pulled it again. So since I keep on pulling it, it makes me feel that whatever this new thing is, you need to go for it. Don't worry about being nervous or afraid or scared or anything like that. I don't even want you to think for a second that it won't work out or it won't come to be. Not our problem. The only thing you need to be thinking about is, this is a new direction and I'm going to go in that direction. This is a new path and that is the path that I'm going to take. This is a new experience and this is the experience I'm going to be experiencing. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to figure out every single minute detail because things might change, but I do want you to trust that initial just activation within you that's telling you to go in a certain direction. Trust it, believe in it, and everything else will figure itself out. And what do we know about Capricorn energy? Capricorn creates the rules and manages the rules. And it's not the rules for the sake of like something like Aries energy, like this is how I want to do it and this is what we gonna do. It's not that at all. It's what establishes order. What is that established order? And order is supposed to benefit you and me. Now, everyone has their own approach or thought or idea of what their version of order is. But Capricorn energy assumes that their version is the best version and that we should all, align ourselves to that. Because there's this energy of fairness associated with it, but also hard work. So many things that we may be banking our future on. People, approaches, situations we think that are going to work may not really stand the test of time. So Capricorn energy reminds us that if something is supposed to work for a long time, it should be able to stand the test of time. Now, just to jump over to something like a Gemini energy is, is it intriguing right now? I don't care if it stands the test of time. I just want it to be interesting right now. But it's not about that. It's about how can you feel secure and how can you create security that stands the test of time. And sometimes that means you will feel uncomfortable as you are putting these things together. But I think it also kind of embodies the Fool card because it's almost like it's a benefit for you to be naive. Because maybe you don't need to be bitter or jaded by previous experiences. Go at this in a totally new way, a way you've never done it before. So we have the sea turtle, which is telling us to be wise. It's saying, pull the wisdom, not necessarily the identity, but the wisdom. Don't bring the fear. Because how many of us have sat and thought, if I could go back 5-10 years, this is how I would do it again, Everything in life is cyclical. And if everything is cyclical, understand that this is your new loop around. But now, you got the wisdom to make it work. It's going to work out. But you have to look at it from that perspective. You have to let go of old stuff. You got to let go of old baggage as well. And then we have a lot of wise, a lot of wisdom coming in. Because we have the guardian and we have the crone. The crone is so fitting for the moon. Because we have the maiden, the mother, and the crone, representing those phases of the moon, the phases of femininity, the phases of a woman's energy going forward. And with that being said, the crone is the last stage. And the crone also represents wisdom. And the crone is, connected to that same Capricorn energy as well. A moon, which is all about feelings, ruled, which rules Cancer. When it comes to Capricorn, it kind of, stiffens it up a little bit. But the crone is no nonsense wisdom. She's saying, look here, I ain't doing this back and forth with you. I'm gonna tell you like it is. And if you want to go out there and do what you're gonna do, I'm gonna say I told you so. But it is what it is. No nonsense. Because I think when you're younger, you may be invested in other people's actions. I think the older you get, the more you start to feel like that's your business. What do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And the guardian is your protected. So this energy that you may be feeling that feels like, oh, this is new, this is different, is this going to work out? Just know you're protected. You're protected by your energetic helpers, your guardian angels, your ancestors, your fill in the blank of whatever it is you feel connected to. You are deeply guided. This is a part of your life path and your life purpose. So don't be afraid to go after it. So there's a lot of, again, I just pulled the King of Swords, wisdom. This right now is basically saying you need to heed the advice of your elders or those around you who you feel like may understand whatever it is you're embarking on right now. Because when we look at Capricorn and we look at starting something in order to build something, what do? You have to find a blueprint. You have to find a resource to explain it. It's not about just venturing out and being the first person, but it's about creating stability off of things that are already tried and proven. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. You're going to get what it is that you're looking for. But deep down inside, that's what you want. You want that security. You want that consistency. This is what people think. They think that if you have the money, everything else should be balanced. So they don't care how they go about their journey of getting the money. So they finally get the money, and now they have horrible mind-body connection. They have horrible anxiety. Because they weren't paying attention to their habits, which the moon represents habits and patterns. They were not paying attention to the patterns that they were engaging in order to get the money. So to the time that they actually finally got to the level that they wanted to be, which they may naturally have gotten there anyway, they now associate this discomfort with that. And so now you got the money and you're still stressed out. So here's the thing. Regardless of if you struggle to get there or if you take your time and you work through it, you are going to get there. It is up to you to decide how you want to get there, how you want to maneuver there. What are the behaviors you want to engage in with yourself and with others? And those behaviors, that's really what establishes your mood, your daily mood. And to say someone is moody, or to say that someone's feelings can change, that's completely normal. It's completely okay if your feelings change, from time to time, day to day. While you're fulfilling whatever you're going after, you must still be consistent at that. But your feelings might change. Some days you might be really checked in and some days you're checked out. But that is how the moon is. The moon changes signs the quickest out of all the other planets and lights. The moon changes a sign every 2.5 days. That is why someone can easily be triggered by something that happens and change their mood. Because that's just how the moon is. But just because your mood changes doesn't mean your mode of action should change or the big picture. Maybe how you approach it, or you want to think about it a little bit, but to completely stop and say, oh, I don't feel good, so I'm not going to do it. That is not the new moon in Capricorn. So we have this Page of Wands in reverse, signaling all those times that you stopped yourself from taking an action. Do not do that. Just because it is new, just because you're at the beginning of the journey, does not mean you need to stop yourself from living out or from going after what you want to do. And then you have this Seven of Wands, which is you need to understand that this fear that you have, or this fear that may come up or something like that, on the other side, you're well equipped to handle anything very well. Don't be afraid to do something because you know that there's going to be discomfort. Everything's going to have discomfort. You should be weary of things that you feel like are, oh, there's no discomfort associated. Da, da, da. No, whenever you're building or growing in a new direction, it's going to take some adjusting and getting used to. So, I want you to tell me in the comment section how this recent Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn and this new moon, super new moon in Capricorn, has been, how you have been experiencing it and what you have been doing to navigate it. Because when you share your journey, there are so many people who benefit from that. Sometimes people are stuck and others have already figured out the answer. So feel free to share your answer and share it with the community. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed today's session. Like I said before, I'm going to start to do our soft-spoken sessions. I used to do a lot more, and I started whispering, and I just never stopped. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Let me know in the comments section if you enjoy the card pulls and things like that, because that's something that I would like to bring back in. And just know that you are enough. You're ready. I don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to be nervous. And you need to understand, if there is fear, that's all it is. The fear is not a signal that something is not going to work. The fear is the challenge. Get over to the other side and collect your prize. Well, babies, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it. I love you, but who cares that I love you? Remember to love yourself a little bit more each and every day, okay? So until next time, lots of kisses to all my babies. Bye.